All right, there's a lot going on this week, so let's take a second to get into this week's Twitch. This week in Destiny, May 1st, 2025. This week in Destiny, the community gathered to finish a puzzle and get a sneak peek of what is to come. What's going on here exactly, Drifter? Guess we'll have to find out next Tuesday in our Edge of Fate reveal stream. Before that, how about you find out about the topics for this week? You solved the puzzle, or some other people solved the puzzle. Maybe we didn't. The new Chestiny ARG has been solved, and we got a little cutscene for the community right before the Edge of Fate reveal coming out next Tuesday. So May 6th is upon us. That's whenever we're going to have our Edge of Fate reveal. It is going to be 9 a.m. Pacific time. For those of you that don't already know, Heavy Metal Tournament and Emblem Update 8.2.6 is almost here. 3 new weapons added soon, and celebrating AA and HPI Heritage Month. Of course, you solved it. Obviously, you know, Bungie has been cooking with a bunch of ARGs, one for Marathon, one for now Destiny has been involved in the ARG. So this is a good opportunity for the community to come together and solve yet another puzzle. If you haven't solved it already, you can get your taken loosely inspired shaders for your characters and weapons and things of that nature. You got a new ship, new emblem, everything to go with it. So if you wanted to go solve that or go punch in all the stuff, I'm sure there's videos out there for you to go check out to make sure you solve that puzzle and get it done. If not, we do have some homies that can do it in the community. Just come join the Discord and we can get you hooked up with that. We hope you enjoyed solving Chestiny as much as we did creating it. To all the players that took part in it, to the community leaders, to the rows above to organize them, and to the first team to find the answer. You are awesome. And now let's watch the cinematic trailer together, shall we? If you haven't watched the cinematic trailer, go in here, watch it. It's good. May 6th is next week. We have May 6th, 9 a.m. Pacific time. Like I said, the reveal event. There is going to be an awesome emblem. They already showed us the emblem that they're going to be giving away for this. This is absolutely amazing. This is very cool looking. They have actually been doing really good with the emblems lately, especially with the reveal events and everything like that. They want to make sure we're tuned in, and I'm not going to miss it. We'll be here watching it live over on Twitch, so make sure you come join us while we watch it together and earn this emblem. Heavy Metal Tournament and emblem for the Heavy Metal Tournament. Let's look at that. Let's look at the emblem first. Awesome looking little brig. What is this, like a little dragon and everything? So you got the tank and you got the brig. This is actually really cool. Another W emblem coming out for Bungie. May 9th Pacific time, we have qualifiers. There's different brackets for your North American teams and your other teams as well. Going May 9th, May 10th, and May 11th will be the finals. Winning team will receive a unique reward inspired by an in-game item. Stay tuned for details next TWID. So the next TWID, we're going to have the details for the winning team. Those of you watching can grab a cool emblem tuning into the tournament. Watch any opted-in Destiny 2 streamer. I like to play Destiny 2. Maybe it's not me because I'm not taking part in the tournament. I'm not sure, but maybe they'll be available on all channels. We'll see. Watch them during the time frames during the tournament, and you will be able to receive the Mad Dog emblem. Alternatively, our participating creators from the 8 selected teams will also have limited quantities of the emblem to give out during their tournament streams. Nice. Here comes the sandbox preview. We already knew a lot of these updates were coming. They've hinted at them whenever we talked about them in the past. There's gonna be some crazy stuff in here. Hopefully you're ready and buckle up, because a lot of people don't want to see this, but it was gonna happen. So let's go ahead and go look at it. Prismatic supers. Reduce prismatic specific super cooldown penalty from 10 to 5%. That's not bad. The recent penalty to the super cooldown time while on prismatic feels just a bit too strong, so we have walked that back partially to make it more like prismatic subclasses will be to get their supers in longer trials and competitive matches. Okay, so you can run prismatic in trials and you can get your super back more than likely in trials matches. Honestly, if you're running a high intellect, you should be able to get it back anyway if it's a longer match, but it's really doubtful that you get to lean on your super too much in a trials match, especially if they go pretty quick. So this change probably won't affect us way too much, but it is a good change. We want to make sure that those supers have the potential, if that match goes along, to be able to pop it. So this is a good change. Scatter grenade. This grenade has been a bit of a power outlier in PvP for a while, so we're bringing it in line. Reduce scatter grenade damage versus players by 15%. It is overused. I can't agree with that. I don't play enough PvP to really care too much, but I have, obviously, the little PvP that I have played, I have noticed that scatter grenade is widely overused. Hunter, we knew that on the Prowl Void aspect was too strong in PvP. They already said they were going to be nerfing it. The utility needs some more limitations to force more deliberate usage. So reduce PvP prey finding range from 45 meters to 25 meters. Reduce PvP hunt time from infinite to 15 seconds. So it makes you kind of utilize that a little bit faster, and it makes it not work as far. So that's a W change. It shouldn't be crushed, and nothing should ever be crushed in PvP, right? And if you have an infinite uptime, you can definitely crush that and take your time using it, right? So W change. Warlock, Lightning Surge, Arc aspect can feel frustrating to play both with and against, as it feels like damage against players can be highly variable. Clamped the variability of Lightning Surge damage against players. I assume that means just kind of like honed it in a little bit to where it's a little bit less sporadic and a little bit less RNG. Slightly increase the minimum damage dealt and reduce the maximum damage dealt. So yeah, just brought both of them in, less of a variable in RNG range. So that's good. That's good. Global for across the board for, I guess, PvE and PvP. Across the board, Withering Blade, a stasis and prismatic melee. This melee has been underperforming in PvP and needed a PvE consistency bump. Increase the tracking strength by 20%, so you'll hit them a little bit more. And increase the damage by 10%. So that's a pretty cool little buff for the hunters. Usually the hunters go a little bit unnoticed, so that's good. All throwing knife melees, so anything where you're throwing a knife, thanks to player feedback, we identified an issue causing hunters throwing knife melees track targets inconsistently. On top of that, we further improved the tracking, lightweight knife, and fan of knives to make them a little bit more attractive option. I have noticed that. Back whenever Warlord's Ruin came out, I used to use the fan blades a lot, and I felt like, I've even said this, I felt like I could hit my shots on the knives way more consistently back then, and I'm not sure what happened. I feel like something got lost in between then and now, to where I started using fan blades because I wanted to use Foe Tracer for my Lord of Wolves to be able to proc that damage increase while using the throwing knives, and I felt like I could not hit enemies as much. So I'm not sure what happened there, but I'm glad they're helping us out a little bit because I've definitely felt that. Increase the tracking shape size by 10%, increase the tracking strength by 20%. So another increase on the tracking strength, relatively the same as Withering Blade. Fan of Knives, pretty much same thing, except less strength, more of a tracking shape. So I guess the range up and down and outwards kind of pulls a little bit more depending on where it's at. So that's good. Good changes. I can't wait to see how the tracking goes on that. On the Prowl Void aspect across the board, this is outside of PvP as well, but as well as inside. On the Prowl, assassinations now provide an instant bump of ability energy instead of doing it out over time. This makes eliminating a target more immediately satisfying. It makes for easier looping in PvE. Reduce prey finding cooldown from 0.5 to 0.1. Ability energy is now granted instantly instead of over time. And the Warlock Lightning Surge aspect slightly increased the follow-up melee suppression time after a Lightning Surge to match Shoulder Charge and other similar abilities. So kind of like putting it on par with all the other classes. And here's what we've all been waiting for: the weapon updates. All right, pulse rifles, I could care less. Legacy frame, origin trait now reduces ADS fall off scalar by 0.1%. You're not really going to notice that too much. This reduces battler and the S-Stocks ADS damage fall off scalars from 1.7 to 1.6, matching high impact pulses. Increases BXR battlers airborne effectiveness stat 10 to 21. A little bit of charts to go over the usage in the PvP lobbies. Rapid fire frames, hand cannons. So rapid fires increase the base damage from the rapid fire frame pulse rifles 14.5 to 15. Increased precision damage. This is slight tuning. This is all slight tuning on the pulse rifles. I like it when they gradually turn the dial, because I feel like they usually hit a pretty good sweet spot whenever they keep gradually turning the dial to hit the sweet spot. I've always said I never like them to drastically overcorrect anything, which I'm sure we're going to see here in a little bit of them drastically overcorrecting something, but that one is a special case, kind of in need for it. But I like it when they do this. So rapid fire frames, a little bit of a change there. Hand cannons, heavy burst, increased ADS fall off scalar from 1.5 to 1.6. Cool. Like I said, minor tuning there. I didn't really notice why it needed that. Good to know. Adaptive, so basically your judgment. Magazine size from 9 to 11. Nice. We love an increase in magazine size. Reload increased from 40 to 45. Handling increased from 42 to 55. So adaptive frame hand cannons are gonna pretty good, I guess. Honestly, we'll have to see that. That's a little bit of a good jump in the reload, so can't wait to see how that plays out. They should be a little bit faster. They're not supposed to be like the heavy hitters, right? They're the adaptive frame. Auto rifles, high impact, increased base damage by 4% on the high impact auto rifles. That's good. Body shot goes from 23 to 24. Critical hit goes down from 41.4 to 43.2. Oh no, it goes up from 41.4 to 43.2. So buff on the high impact auto rifles. Can't wait to get my hands on one of those. Play with it after the buff there, because 4% increased damage. That might you might feel that whenever you're kind of like running through rank and file ads. So we'll see that and how that goes. Precision auto rifles increase base damage by 3%. So we're just giving pretty much auto rifles that you enjoy using a boost here. Precision damage scaler slightly to offset this. Body shot goes from 19.4 to 20, and critical hit goes from 33.95 to 34. So not too much of an increase there. Increase the base damage, but reduce the precision damage scaler. Okay, not too much of an increase / decrease there. So it should just be like a little bit, like I said, fine tuning. Adaptive submachine guns increase ADS fall off scaler from 1.4 to 1.5. Good stuff. Other minor increase there. Shotguns heavy burst slug increased damage by 8%. 8% on the heavy burst slug. That's actually pretty cool. Not high enough compared to normal slug shot to make it worth the additional control required to utilize them effectively. We have further buffed their damage. Okay, so they're trying to incentivize you to come off of the regular slug shotguns a little bit and use the heavy burst shotguns. I don't see too many situations where you would want to use a heavy burst slug shotgun, but if you do, it might be worth, especially if you got like a champ that you're handling with shotguns. Weapon perks, one quiet moment, now has 2 stacks, one that activates after 1 second of being out of combat for 50% of the bonus, and the other one at 2 seconds. So the longer you're out, you get both the stacks back. So you have to wait 2 seconds to get that full weapon perk back. Now activates reduce effectiveness whenever teammate dies, maximum effectiveness when 2 or more teammates are currently dead. Okay, now for real, what we've all been waiting for, the exotic weapon update. They made us wait until the very end here to finally see it. Lord of Wolves is getting a reduced hipfire damage in PvE by 30%. Hey yo, what the fuck? A whole tether's worth of damage reduced off of the Lord of Wolves. Rest in peace, the king. It's been fun while it lasted. Guys, we knew this was coming. We can't be mad at it. We had our fun. We knew it was busted. Everybody knew it was broken, but we just kept using it because it was fun. It was fun while it was here. They even said, while we found Lord of Wolves was far outperforming where we wanted it to be, we decided to let this ride for Most of Heresy for a fun little meta time period. With Rite of the 9 arriving soon, it's time to rein it in. Agreed. We're going to be crushing out some new contest mode content. Already, they deactivated in the last contest mode dungeon. Of course, we knew that they were going to bring it back down, right? Of course, we knew that. Just the 30%, though, that means, like, you're going to go back to doing the damage that you were doing, say, if you weren't using tether. So if you weren't using tether and you were still shredding with this without a tether down, then it's still going to cook. But now this brings it down to something you might be using something a little bit more viable in current situations. It's still going to be a good weapon. It's just not going to be nearly as good as it was. So good change. We knew it was coming. Honestly, Lord of Wolves was fun. It was fun to use it for the first time ever because I didn't use it for anything. Risk Runner has been a low zoom outlier as far as SMGs go. I don't know. I use Risk Runner a lot to be honest. I don't really use it for the zoom, but we wanted to bring it in more in line with other options alongside the buff that will be getting to a range as part of adaptive SMG changes listed above. Okay, so increase the zoom 13 to 14. Not that big of a deal. Risk Runner didn't get too much. Truth and Two-Tailed Fox. Rocket launchers rarely compete in Crucible as a viable heavy option against LFRs and LMGs, but giving them more ammo from crates is not a decision we would make lightly. To test the waters, we have selected 2 exotic rocket launchers that will get an additional heavy ammo from crates in PvP. Increase the ammo picked up from ammo crates in PvP or Crucible from 1 to 2. All right, so giving you 2 shots to kill somebody, so you might be able to, use it a little bit more. So they're testing the waters. Obviously, if this goes well and people enjoy it, then you might see a little bit more. Lithium, this is actually pretty good. Creating a special ammo brick now only costs 50% energy, making it a little bit more useful. Reworded the Vestigial Alchemy trait description to be a little less confusing. I don't think I was confused on it, but I mean, Finality's Auger, this is a need for tuning because honestly, it came out and it went right in my vault. I never used this weapon. I tested it out just to see what it did. Did not enjoy it too much, so we definitely needed some quality of life changes, which is what they're giving us, right? So increase the duration that a target is painted to match the duration of the turret. The environmental target marker now marks additional targets that enter the zone after its initial creation. Now grants an automatic reload from reserves after deploying the turret. That's good. Reduces the turret's self-damage by 85%. Good, so it has more survivability. Increase the turret's damage by 10%. So that might make this a little bit more fun to use. Definitely not going to be like a meta situation. Usable and fun if you want to play around with it, all right? Ooh, we're getting hit on Radiant Dance Machines in the armor updates for the Hunter. Okay, this is a lot of changes on Radiant Dance Machines. Obviously, if you guys know, I mean, PvP, Radiant Dance Machines, even PvE, I mean, Radiant Dance Machines is crazy. So let's just see what they're doing. Reduce the bonus granted to primary weapons when hip firing, aligned with the hip fire bonus to range and accuracy with the values granted by hip fire grip perk. All right, instead of the legacy frame intrinsic perk. Reduced accuracy bonus for standard weapons by 60%. Reduce aim assist fall off distance bonus by 60%. That's a huge swing. I don't know if that means that we're going to still be seeing Radiant Dance Machines kind of run the streets with, you know, the little last word meta going on, but we'll see. Further reduce the accuracy bonus for the custom tuned exotic weapons, including the last word, by an additional 25%. So on top of that, they're bringing the accuracy even further down with your specific exotic weapons, which is the ones that people use with this. Definitely not people like Grenade or Jake. Never, not once. Exotic weapons, including last word, by additional 25%. Based on the feedback we have received from mouse and keyboard players using last word with RDMs, we are looking into tuning specific penalties for that input device down a bit in the further patch to make the weapon more usable without requiring an exotic. Okay, although dodge uptime is already lower on Radiant Dance Machines than it is with some of the other Hunter exotics, we want to reduce the class ability refund benefit just a bit in PvP, make it a little bit less of a focal point of the exotic. Reduce the amount of energy refunded for defeats against players when you do not have full class ability energy from 33% to 20%. All right, big swing on the Radiant Dance Machines. This seems like a Radiant Dance Machine killer, to be honest. I feel like you're not going to see them as much in PvP. Obviously, this wasn't as huge of a deal in PvE. They were fun to use in some situations of PvE, but this is more obviously for PvP. The Lion Ram Pants. What are we doing the Lion Ram Pants? Added the accuracy and range of hipfire. Oh, they got their new borrowed dad. So added the accuracy and range of hipfire bonuses from RDMs to Lion Rampart primary ammo weapons. These hipfire benefits are always active, not just when airborne. The plus 50 airborne effectiveness bonus is now always active, not just when you are hip firing while airborne. So better, right? Added the accuracy and range hipfire bonus from Radiant Dance Machines to Lion Rampants for primary ammo weapons only. These hipfire benefits are always active, not just when airborne. Okay, so this is pretty helpful. Pretty helpful. I'm sure Titans are going to love that. Lunafaction boots. Added the accuracy range from Radiant Dance Machines to Lunafaction boots as well with the primary ammo weapons only. Hipfire benefits are always active, not just when in a rift. So you have Lunafaction boots, you get the hipfire bonus. Nice. Decreased range bonus granted by empowering rift by 50% in PvP only. Reduces the occurrences of extremely long range kills with short range weapons like fusions and slug shotgun. I mean, good changes, honestly. Kind of helped it out in PvE here. Kind of nerfed a little bit in PvP, but it seems like nothing's crazy here. Nothing's crazy. The craziest thing is going to be the Radiant Dance Machine, obviously. 3 new rewards coming with 8.2.6. So let's see what weapons we have. All right, so Iron Banner is getting Nature Reclaimed, a lightweight solar scout rifle, has Killing Wind, Outlaw, Heal Clip, Lone Wolf, Rapid Hit, Shoot to Loot, Desperate Measures, Kill Clip, Incandescent, Precision Instrument, Box Breathing, Explosive Payload. We love an EP. We love an EP Shoot to Loot. We love an EP. We put Incandescent and Explosive Payload in the same column. Yikes. Maybe Heal Clip Incan, Heal Clip Explosive Payload, maybe a Shoot to Loot portion. It's going to be good to have another Shoot to Loot scout rifle with Explosive Payload on. That's actually pretty cool. I like that. I don't think it's going to be that crazy. Trials of Osiris, the Inquisitor. We're getting an Arc Precision Select Shotgun, Suros Foundry, Envious Assassin, nice, Lone Wolf Offhand Strike, Loose Change, Perpetual Motion Slide Shot, Threat Detector. So if we're getting Loose Change, that means we're getting something like, yep, Jolting Feedback over here. So we have an Envious Assassin Bait and Switch on another Precision Slug. Looks like they're enjoying doing that a lot more lately. We have Closing Time, Cascade Point, Fragile Focus, Jolting Feedback, which is great, Opening Shot, and Precision Instrument. Precision Instrument, nice. All right, so I mean, has Threat Detector and Opening Shot on a Slug. That's actually pretty crazy. It's good. I mean, good trials weapon if you have Threat Detector and Opening Shot on a Slug shotgun. And then you also have things like Lone Wolf Opening Shot. That would be pretty cool, especially if you're by yourself. Yeah, that'd be a good combo. Loose Change, Jolting Feedback. Not really good. I mean, kind of good if you're using it in PvE, I guess. It depends on what the champs are. If you're using shotguns for champs, that would be fun. You're not really using Slug Shotgun too much in a damage rotation. So the Envious Assassin Bait and Switch rotation, probably not going to be the one. You probably definitely want a Lone Wolf Opening Shot or Threat Detector Opening Shot, whichever one you think you're going to be more likely to use for PvP, and then maybe Loose Change, Jolting Feedback, or obviously Envious Assassin Bait and Switch type thing. Because if you're gonna do the reload, you definitely want Jolting Feedback to make that proc. A couple different combinations there, but I mean, obviously it seems like it would be more of like a PvP thing, so that's good. And then the Nightfall weapons, we're getting a new Nightfall weapon. It's gonna be Cruel Mercy Arc Heavy Burst Pulse Rifle. Okay, it comes with Dragonfly, Demolitionist, Eddy Current, 4 times the Charm, Keep Away, and Lone Wolf. We get Jolting Feedback, Adrenaline Junkie, Head Seeker, Frenzy, Kill Clip, Desperado. This is actually a juice pulse rifle. We get a Dragonfly. I feel like we don't have too much of a reload perk. Well, I guess we could do 4th times. Not too much of a reload perk here. That's unfortunate. But I mean, the Head Seeker, this could be good for PvP too. Head Seeker, Lone Wolf would be pretty crazy. You have a Frenzy, you have a Kill Clip, you have a Desperado, you have Jolting Feedback. I mean, honestly, Head Seeker, Frenzy for PvE. So I guess not. Maybe Jolting Feedback for PvE. One of those two. I mean, I guess Demo would be the reload perk. Maybe Demo then. Maybe Demo Jolting Feedback. But I want to see the Dragonfly Jolting Feedback. I feel like that would be fun. But that would be fun. It seems like a good one to play around with. This one isn't crazy, but it seems like it would be fun to mess around with some of the different combinations and stuff. But I mean, Head Seeker and Lone Wolf for PvP would be fun. Nature Reclaimed will be first available starting May 20th when Iron Banner returns, and then for the Inquisitor Cruel Mercy, we're trying something a bit different for the duration of Rite of the Nine until the Edge of Fate launches. While both will be available at their respective vendors, they will also drop as additional rewards when you finish a Trials match or a Nightfall activity. So both of those are just going to drop. Trials of Osiris will be back May 13th for the first time after update 8.2.6 is live. So winning on a 4-win streak will get you the featured reward. Asian American, Native Hawaiian, Pacific Islander Heritage Month. So it's a beautiful emblem. Honestly, beautiful. We love the flowers. I forget what the name of the flower is. I'm sure somebody will say it down in the comments. Love this. We're excited to support International Community Health Services, a nonprofit healthcare organization based in Seattle, Washington, and a leading voice in changing anti-Asian hate. Do something for this every year. This is a beautiful emblem. Make sure you go put some donations in. $10 donations will get you the emblem. Make sure you go put some donations in, get you a sick emblem in the process of helping out your community. That does it for all the updates on the TWID. Obviously, Juice TWID. We have a bunch of weapon and armor updates, a bunch of sandbox quality of life updates, a bunch of things for your abilities. We have the new heavy metal tournament and emblem coming out. Rite of the Nine coming out next week, as well as the Edge of Fate reveal event coming out next week. If you watch enough of it, you get a sick emblem. A bunch of cool stuff happening next week in Destiny, so make sure you stay tuned while we go through all that as a community. If you enjoyed the video, found it informative, please make sure you like, comment, share it with a friend. Follow and subscribe to know which platform you're on. I'll see you in the next one.